Hello, everybody, and happy Tuesday evening. My name is Tiffany Hall. I am an alumni of TripleTen Software Engineering Program, a full stack engineer at Scholastic Inc., the world's largest publisher of children's books and a powerhouse in the digital education space, too. Tonight, I'm very excited that I get to be the host of TripleTen's December Code Jam. We are having a very exciting Code Jam. Tonight, we are having not just one, but two of our boot camps joining us. We have a project tonight with the software engineering students and the data students, the data science students. So that's very exciting. If you're new to this space, let's talk about what a Code Jam is. So a Code Jam is a friendly competition where we put our students in battle against each other during their normal coursework and everyday lives. These are super short competitions where a bunch of students get together and they jam out a bunch of code to meet our prompt. The prizes are mostly things that we all want, which are pride and bragging rights, which if you are in the tech field at all, you know those are the things you really want. The Code Jam consists of three parts: the coding part, the modeling part, and the final presentation. So last week, our participants were divided into teams of four, and they were challenged to create a minimum viable product of service making up optimal routes for winter vacation. And I don't know if you have your winter vacation planned, but I certainly don't. So I'm very excited to see what all of the competitors have been working on, so at least I can maybe get my plans together before the week's end. Our teams only had 5 days to work together and to complete this. So it is incredibly tight timelines. Today, the teams are going to show off their projects to all of you out there, and then our judges will review them next week. And the judges will be evaluating both the code and the model functioning and the presentation. So all kinds of things will be judged. The results, we will have those results posted for us in the TripleTen Discord channel. So if you're a student of ours, you can find them there. And then all of our socials will also have them as well. All of our students who watch us here can vote for their favorite project during the following week. So if you are watching us on YouTube, you can chat with us in that chat box down below, and you can vote for your favorite team there. If you are a student of ours, then you can go ahead and vote for us in the poll that will be in the Discord channels. All right. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, we're going to get the sleigh on the road. We've got four teams tonight, so we are going to start with our first team, which is the Slope Scouts. And the Slope Scouts are at Azion Thang, Clark Brodnicki, Aya Govindaraj, and Umberto Fassi.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction. I'm Clark from the Slope Scouts. I'm going to get my screen shared here with everybody, making sure we're sharing the audio, and we will get going. So, brief overview. Yeah, this is our 2024 December Code Jam. We chose the topic of ski resorts and some winter fun. So, our team worked on different aspects. Jemic worked on the scripts. I worked on page layout and responsiveness. Z, as we call him, worked on the UI and making sure all the styling was really nice. And Umberto worked on data scraping, route design, and Aya worked on data analysis and visualization. What we tried to do was find an optimal route in between 9 ski resorts in New York. So that way, anyone that visits our webpage can spend more time on the slopes than they do on the road, wandering crazily. Yeah. And we also provided a visual comparison between the optimized routes. Now, one of our members is not here. Would you like me to play the video or should I discuss instead?
I think it's up to you. Whatever you and your team think might be best. We're open for both.
Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to discuss this part. So
All
this
right.
is the part that Z worked on, the styling. He chose the color and the fonts. He calls this Christmas red and noted that this spectral font is part of like a winter magic package, more or less. He also had the great idea of putting this loop in the header. He ensured that all the font sizes were appropriate according to headings and subheadings as well, and did the little details like rounding the corners, making sure that the margins and the padding inside and outside the elements were good. And that was it for my part. Oh, myself. He also got the links to work for our different page sections. So I said that I worked on the layouts, and part of the layout was the different page sections as well, ensuring that we had our videos, our text, our boxes in the way that we wanted them to present. And I did a lot of this DevTools stuff here, just making sure that everything is lined up and working well. The other piece I worked on was responsiveness. So we had at least two screen sizes this page was optimized for. And if you watch me drag in here, we've now got it down to a smaller screen size. This is most notable when we look at things like the videos. They are stacked in a column, and as it gets wider, we've got a side by side. Same thing here with our distances and our maps for our routes. And you notice that the font size does change ever so slightly there. So with that, we'll hand it over to Jemik for discussion on JavaScript and what he did with the cards.
Hello, my name is Jamie. So I'm working on a JavaScript by creating a card template that populates when the page loads. Would you please open the app? In the JavaScript file, I prepared some initial cards, and this helped to shorten our HTML file. I also work on the model for the image. So by clicking the image, that will preview the image, and by clicking the close, and it goes away. That's all I contribute in this project. Thank you so much, and I will hand it to Uberto.
Hi, my name is Humberto. I worked on web scraping the resort data. I got all their names and I was able to geolocate all of that data. And from there, we also developed the routes by leveraging the open source routing machine API. And that allowed us to actually get the routes between all the points. The random route was developed by selecting a random sample of all the list of the resorts. And from there, all the routes between them were developed and all the distances calculated. And again, a grueling 1,718 miles. And then with the optimized route, we just got the minimum distance through some directed graphs. And we got a measly 688 miles from that. Fantastic. Yeah. And now we could go and present the data analysis from that web scraped data as well.
Thank you, Berto. I'm Aya. I worked on the data visualization part, and we scrubbed a lot of details, and based on those, I did the EDA for elevation versus snowfall. Here is the KD plot. So here you can see even the base elevation is the same, the annual snowfall is like there are two buckets, lower snowfall as well as the higher snowfall. This helps, thus the data visualization helps users to choose resorts based on their preferences. Can you move on to next slide, please, Clark? Okay, so thinking about this app, what is the value proposition? Who is going to use it? It's definitely helpful for the skiers to determine the optimized time, and it's helpful for the resorts for developing their business by providing by optimizing visitor traffic. And third one is the travel agencies. They can build optimized itineraries for ski trips. When thinking about enhancements, what are the feature enhancements? We can make, since this is an MVP, we couldn't include the real-time data. So if we have more time, can include the real-time data as well as enhanced routing algorithm, which can scale better and provide quick responses, as well as the personalization, which is the key thing as the current trend now. We can incorporate that. And since we covered only the New York area, we can expand this app so that we can handle the international as well as national as well as international routes. Can you go back to the next step? So concluding points, the key takeaways. So that's we built an optimized route and a routing algorithm. And secondly, we provided a web page which has visually engaging stuff as well as data-driven way to plan ski trips. And this app has future potential for growth and expansion. And I'm open for questions. Thank you.
All right, that was fantastic. Skiing. Okay, so that's my first option for my winter vacation this year. All right, let's talk about the different pieces. So there's the data piece and the software engineering piece. And so the first question I think I want to know is really talking to you guys as a team about how did you decide on this data set and kind of coordinate the two halves.
I'll go ahead and talk about the data set and how we ended up coordinating that.
Okay.
Well, we decided on skiing because, well, I have very fond memories going to Colorado during the winter time. However, New York happens to have the most ski resorts in all of America. So we decided to restrict the statewide search to New York. And the way that we collaborated that was to go ahead and have the software engineers make the critical decisions on the styling and the presentation of that vision of skiing in New York State.
All right. All right, maybe somebody from the software engineering side of the house.
Sure. Well, once we decided on our topic, the three software engineers broke it up based on the sprint that we were in. So Z was in like sprint 6, sprint 7 territory. And I had just finished sprint 7. And then I think Jemik's on sprint 12. So he got to handle the JavaScript on that. And I really like doing the HTML, and what it produces as far as the layout and the organization is really like speaks to my soul. And then Z had some good ideas. He said, I think we should, since it's skiing, we should make it kind of winter theme. And that's how he chose the fonts and the colors. And then he just kind of had the artistic eye on some of that. And then what we did is the three of us kind of circled the wagons a little bit and just made sure we tightened everything down and everything was functional. And we tested the screen size, we blew it up, we threw it in a different browser to make sure it would render correctly and we weren't like getting too myopic just using Chrome. And we just had fun.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys were able to find a real connection to it. I think whenever you can in a short period of time, it really helps to bring out a lot more of the joy of like the 5-day grind that comes with a jam.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. That is the Slope Scouts. Sorry, I'm distracted by this project. I pulled it up in the background. So that is the Slope Scouts with Azion, Jimmick Thang, Clark Brodnicki, Aya Govindaraj, and Umberto Fassi. Our next team is the Jingle Bells. So the Jingle Bells team will be partly in person and partly on video. So that team is Anna Martinez, Martin Young, Alex Johnson, Bridget Dew, and Michael Fulsanity.
Thank you, Tiffany. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bridget with the Jingle Bells. Let me get my screen shared quickly. Okay, so The data team is going to present our piece first. That's me and Michael. I will caveat that unfortunately, due to like some time constraints and miscommunications, our team didn't fully achieve the goal of visualizing the random or the optimized routes in our website. However, the team did work really hard, so we still want to present what we came up with. Michael and I will be doing it live, and the software piece will be on video, like Tiffany said. Here is our website. I started off by just doing some research and watching the June summer vacations to get some ideas, where I learned that I could get the longitude and latitude via API, or maybe get lucky and find it in a data set. So I tried to find a data set in Kaggle with the longitude and latitude, and I did. And then I found another one with more ski resort data. And so we merged those two, did the pre-processing and the EDA. Due to some time constraints, I won't go into the EDA too much, but here's some of the stuff that we came up with. And then we worked on methods for the models, and I learned about the OSM library. So I attempted trying to build the random model that way. And even though I was able to build the model and it ran without errors, just by reviewing the data, I could see that it was very incorrect. And so my teammate Michael was also working on one on his own that was not incorrect. And so I'm gonna let him take over, and he can tell you about the models.
Thank you, Bridget. Also, thank you for having up. So yeah, basically, I was looking up a couple of different libraries, just kind of see like how I could find the distance. I came across Haversign, and me personally, like I like linear algebra, so like I was like, all right, yeah, I definitely want to go with that one. So yeah, for the randomized model and the optimized model, I used Haversign and then nearest neighbors. So for Haversign, I defined the function. I just calculated the angular distance and then the great distance, and then that was the distance total in kilometers. There is a way to do it in miles, but I think doing it in kilometers would have just been easier on the forefront. So then after that, I found the current resort and the next resort, and then added the distances between those for the random model. Yeah. So, and then I just plotted that. And then, yeah, so the data there just shows from the random route, just shows from one resort to the next resort, the miles it has, and then the total miles, which is around 3,500 for the, yeah, sorry, which is, yeah, around 3,500 in total. So not too bad. And then for the optimized model, again, I use nearest neighbors. So I defined that function, and then I found the current resort as just the current resort, and the resorts new was basically the next resort excluded from the current resort. And then with that, I found the optimal route, and then yeah, definitely took a minute, but yeah. So as you can see, the optimal route, it's around 2,500, so shaved off about 1,000 miles in total, which is pretty good. So yeah.
And then I believe Nadia has the video piece for the
I do.
software team. Oh, Tiffany. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's my cue. Okay. Doo-doo. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm about to commit the cardinal sin of not sharing my sound with the video. Let's see, share sound. This one. There we go. All right.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming to this presentation. Today I'm going to be showing you my team's resort routes website. So here, to get started right into things, I will show you the team we have, which you can navigate to quickly in the nav bar. We have the team. So we have two different sections, the software engineers and the data scientists. And you can see our names here and our roles. So we had all taken certain parts of the website, which is not super important to discuss currently. But let me show you what our website does. So here, in the main section of the website, you'll see here, we have some cards in display, which you can click to enlarge, if need be. A close button, you may click off, you may click this, or you can press the escape key to exit out of. Descriptions, locations, and the resort names. Below, you'll have an intuitive description of our website in case this is your first time visiting, explaining that this website is built to allow users to plan winter vacations either alone or with their families with ease. So here you will be able to scroll using the swiper add-on in JavaScript. You can click the buttons to also maneuver through these cards. And we have 9 main locations. Here you'll see a lot of cool locations you can visit. And here you can filter the resorts by either child-friendly, the highest peak, the longest run, whether they involve night skiing, the most advanced runs, the most snowfall. And you will notice a slight bug with the cards, as per the swiper add-on. Total lifts and total slopes with an input, and these do not work unless you activate them like such. For example, you put a 99, there is no cards. 25, they'll sort through these two. Let's say I went down to 1, which all of them have. That works. But if I turn it off, it doesn't work. Fully functional, same thing with the slopes. And you'll also notice, in case you're going to any specific airport, you can sort through that. Say the Albuquerque International Airport, the Denver International Airport, or say you're going to Utah, Salt Lake City International Airport. You'll be able to notice that. And say, you want to check them all out. You can click on Find Route right here. And here we have an add-on with leaflet.js. It is a fully interactive map, which you can zoom in on, and you'll notice these little geolocations, which you can click on and select, like Angel Fire, New Mexico. And if I were to go up here, you notice it right away, actually. I got very lucky there. So say you want to go to here. You want to start here, you can select it. And then you want to go from here to Sandia Peak. I would look for this. You don't have to look for it. Though, say you want to check it out. Albuquerque, New Mexico. We have this. Say I want to find out, okay, I want to start here in Angel Fire. I want to go to Sandia Peak. I can select this also. You will notice a route will show on the right side, showing the total distance kilometers, the time it'll take to get there, and an efficient route to get in there. And it does not stop there. You are also able to set more locations. You can add more locations. You can do this all the way here. I go to Park City, Utah. I can now go to Vail, Colorado. And it'll show you locations on how to achieve to all of these locations right here. And it gets even better than this. So, the website is also responsive. So, no matter what size monitor or screen you have, the website will update to look good on that screen. Scroll it in. You'll notice the cards shrink. There's still space. This is still even. Navigation bar is still good. And this screen is still good here. I can scroll it in even more, and it goes all the way down. I'll click this to make it easier, to 320 pixels wide. Now, for more common users, you'll see something more like this. Like an iPhone 14 Pro Max will look just like this, and it is still fully functional. You can also click on the cards. The only difference is you're only seeing one card at a time, and, sorry, it's a bit buggy viewing it on desktop, you are able to scroll in the description. The map may be a bit smaller, but it is still fully functional. You can still click and select, and you can still see all of this data here on the team. That is our website. I hope you find great use with it, and I appreciate you for taking your time out of your day to see this. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. That was fun. I am going to throw it back to the Jingle Bells team. Do you have any wrap-ups or any last-minute words, or should I jump into questions?
No, you can jump into your questions.
Okay, jumping into questions. Okay. First question would be, it seems like more of a comment, but also a question. You guys seem to get a lot done in those 5 days. Holy moly. I don't know if anyone was watching but me, but I kept going, wow, there's still, and a carousel? Oh, and then and it resizes? Oh, and there's an API? Oh, dang. So I guess my first question is, how did you guys structure your time and divvy out the work in such a way to get all of this accomplished?
Well, we basically would just like pick like the next meeting instead of like scheduling like 5 meetings in a row. We just focused on like, okay, the next morning, when can we all meet? And then we'd meet the morning, okay, the next evening, since like everybody's schedule is so like different. Michael and I are on the data team, and he didn't attend the first kickoff meeting. So I just jumped in and like started doing the stuff. And then he called in like later. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I already did X, Y, and Z. So like I'm busy tomorrow. So can you do this next part? And so like we just kind of like worked hand in hand, like kind of day by day. I don't know. I see Marty's on the call. I don't know if he wants to speak to the software engineer piece.
Yeah,
I
Marty,
can
come
talk.
on and speak to the software engineers piece.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, basically we talked about the project the first day, and then we Alex ended up creating the initial project structure, and then I just went straight ahead and jumped in and started making the header, so we can get that done, and then from there, we started talking about what we can do as far as putting together the API and all that jazz, and basically just started building the functions straight away. And then Alec ended up coming in like the next day and basically built it with the he brought in the carousel and basically built that by himself, and then uh, finished the footer. So then from there it was just a matter of tweaking it and doing the responsiveness, and that was it. It was
Wow. Well, the way that you guys kind of planned from meeting to meeting and kind of tried to daisy chain those pieces really seemed to work, because there was definitely a lot in a short amount of time, but not just on the front end side, but also in the obviously all of the data that needed to be kind of gone through and parsed and put together. And so that's pretty impressive.
yeah,
Bridget, I wanted to ask you a
we had to put
question.
together I was going to say we had to put together manually put together a data piece to be able to start off the project, and then later on we were able, once we got the data from Bridget and her team, we were able to
Got
just
it. So
plug
you
it
like
in.
mocked it first.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that helps to unblock you quite a bit.
Mm.
Great idea. Bridget, I was just going to ask, you had mentioned it during your part where you were talking about an EDA, and I don't know what that was because I'm just the software engineer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so we did do some exploratory data analysis. Like at least for me, I don't know about Michael, but like starting off, I was kind of like, okay, I know the software guys need a model from us or two models from us, but like I don't know what they can do with the exploratory data analysis. So I'm just going to like do what I know how to do best and kind of like present it to them and be like, hey guys, like this is kind of what I found. Like, can we use it? And then like where Alex had that filter option that he was going, like
Yeah.
were products of the exploratory data analysis. So it was kind of like, I was like, this is what we do. What can you do with it?
Very cool. I think that's a great way to present it. And I really appreciate both you and Mike both showing a lot of the behind the scenes on the data part, because, especially for me, but I know a lot of people at home, when we think of the data, we know data is really important, but we never really know what happens to it, right? And so to see kind of some of the behind the scenes of that is always exciting for me. All right. Well, that is the Jingle Bells team with Anna Martinez, Martin Young, Alex Johnson, Bridget Dew, and Michael Fusnitty. Thank you very much. We are going to go to our next team, which is the Holiday Navigators. And the Holiday Navigators has a fan already in the YouTube chat. There is a person that is wishing good luck to all of you, especially Alba. So that should give you a nice bolt of confidence. Our Holiday Navigators team is David Bedoya, Samantha NC, Sam Branham, Eric McDougall, and Alba Skeha.
Hi. So let me share my screen here with you. All right. Okay. So I'm Sam Enzi. I'm one of the software engineers that worked on this project, and our team was the Holiday Navigators. My teammates consisted of Alba. She is one of the data scientists. David, he is one of the software engineers. Sam, who's also a software engineer, and we also had Eric, who unfortunately is not on here with us. He had to work, but he's in the data science program as well. So our project was a road trip planning app that takes the painful planning out of your vacation. Our data scientists, they optimize the best routes for you to save time, energy, and money to get the most out of your trip. As a family planner, I do not like the painstaking process of planning the trips and the events and all of that stuff. So we thought this was a cool idea to kind of help do that. So our project here, just to kind of walk you through really quick. So we have our nav bar up here, where it can take you to different parts of the app. So we also have here, it talks about like the route optimization for your winter road trip. And then we have our interactive map that plots out your optimized trip. We have our events page, so it plans all your events for you based off of the location that you had. And you are able to click on the cards that takes you to a link. And then we have our footer here. I'm going to let everyone else talk about the portions that they did more in depth. So I will pass this on to David, and he is going to walk you through the design and layout.
Hello? Oh, we can. Okay, awesome. Sorry. Hi, so my name is David. I was responsible for creating the Figma styling and providing a layout for the page so that we could have a great foundation so the rest of the team could basically build off of. So this was basically the page in its infancy. So here's the actual page. And the direction I wanted to go with was a winter ski lodge inspired web page where I organized placeholders or sections where information would be inserted, all while being pleasing to the eye. So another thing that we made sure of was having the web page be responsive and optimized to the device you're on. So my part for creating the header was having the transparent nav bar that's responsive to the screen's width Um, also contains functional buttons, so that redirects you to the corresponding section of the page. And also when you hover, it changes colors. So I also handled the footer section where I was able to create cards that's wrapped into a flex box. So as far as the responsiveness, if you made the screen size smaller, it adjusts. And I would also like to point out that when you hover over each card, it's interactive and it has a nice border. Also, while having their each team member's respective GitHub and LinkedIn. So, yeah, that's really nice. So, I want to say thank you for the team, and I'll let Sam discuss loading the event data into the page.
Hello, I'm Sam, and I worked on trying to get the backend set up for implementing the Python script into the server. However, due to the tight time schedule and my lack of experience, wasn't able to get that running. So instead, I used the data that Albert presented in a notebook file and manually translated that into objects in a constants.js file. And using this and the React structure, I was able to create the events page. Yeah, let me bring that up. And in the events page, I used React to generate a list of event cards dynamically from the card data provided from the Python. Just runs through very simply in a loop. And also took the time to make it so that you can click on the cards using an onClick function and the Windows site so that you can be taken to that page. Also in the Google map, we used a very similar function to loop over the event data and place markers on the map dynamically. And this again uses the optimized route provided by the Python that we loaded into the file. And throughout the project, we were constantly trying to make improvements, and we were so close to getting a Ticketmaster API to display ticket prices into the event cards and data, but again, could not get the backend to work. So I'm going to hand it off to Alba to discuss how she optimized the data and how she gathered everything. Alba, take it away.
Thank you. I'm Alba. I'm data scientist, and we work together with a group. I especially find the data on Google. I gathering together, find the events for we choose for city, and the method used for the best route, implement the route, optimize the algorithm, use the Python, include the build distance metric between city, geographic points, brute force method used to find and evaluate the possible route to find the shortest path and the optimized visualization the optimized route and use the matplot library and the seaborn. All of this data is useful and helpful for the guys to process on the next step within the website.
Right. So we also had another data scientist. His name was Eric, who couldn't be here. He worked a lot on the Ticketmaster APIs and the backend like Python scripts. They are implemented into our code. We just weren't able to make them work in the website. Like Sam said, with just the lack of knowledge, we're not all the way through our sprints yet. We just had a hard time with that. And then I can talk about the parts that I did. So let me share my screen again here. So I worked on the About section here based off of the Figma that David did, which was helpful because I don't consider myself a designer by any means. So thanks, David. And then I did the Google Maps section. So I put these little markers on here. I use the Google API to add info markers as well. So if you click on the little pins there, you can see like stop number 1 is Atlanta, and then your event is the America's largest aquarium. And then we have Charlotte as the second stop, New York as the third, and then to finish off the trip, we have Boston, Massachusetts. One of the parts that I struggled with this was the visualization route here. One of the issues I had was I wasn't able to connect all of them. I could do a starting and an end point, but adding the stops along the way was something that I was trying to read and learn about, but Google has a lot of stuff in their API. So it was, due to the time, it was very hard to get all that stuff done. And then I just kind of helped out a little bit here and there with other parts that needed help too. So the event cards, I think, is really cool as well. Just with the look of it that David did with the cards, and Sam as well. But it also takes you to the website into a different page, which I liked because sometimes when you're on that page and it reloads to something else, you're like, crap, now I got to go back. So I like that we were able to put it into a different tab. And I just really like the overall of what David designed, and Sam was very knowledgeable with the cards and adding that stuff in there. So, and Alba and Eric did a great job with finding the optimized route. So kudos to everyone. I loved working with all of them. So, we originally wanted to do like you get to pick your starting point and then finding different routes from there that were optimized, finding stuff based on price. As a mom of kids, it's nice to know your pricing and like age demographics. But with time, we unfortunately couldn't get all of that stuff done, but it's something that I thought would have been really cool to add in there. So in conclusion, this is our app that we made. It helps you plan your holiday road trip without the stress of planning all of it. And then I don't know if anyone else had anything they wanted to talk about in our group. Alba has her hand raised, so I'll let her.
Yes, I want to mention that on beginning, our route distance was 4,723.7 kilometers. And with the optimized route distance, we reach on minimized 67.76 reduction. So it was really best optimized route for all to enjoy the trip.
So, yep, they did a great job with that. I appreciated all of the data that they sent us and the algorithms, and I didn't realize how much went into the data science side. So it was really impressive to see all of the stuff that they did on their end. So I think we're open for questions now.
All right. Well, I want to tell you guys that your team definitely, so the Holiday Navigators definitely understood the assignment when it came to making sure to tell friends and family that to watch the stream, because unequivocally, we have a ton of comments in the YouTube chat. It looks like David, your mom is here. Hey, there, yeah, wave to mom. And but you know, Alba's got support in here, David's got support in here, the whole team, Samantha's got support, like you guys understood. Definitely getting in those votes for audience award winning. All right, so you guys talked a lot about like super ambitious plans that you guys were going through. Not one API, but 2 APIs. That's unreal, especially in that time frame. Trying to get the Google API, you're not wrong, Samantha. Those docs could take you 5 days just to read through them. And you know, to hear that you, Sam, or you and Eric are working through those Ticketmaster pieces, like that's a crazy level API. To it just, I'm just overwhelmed with the ambition of this project and how much you guys were able to accomplish as well. So really, just congratulations on that first.
Thank you.
I think the only questions that I have is really just thinking about the amount, like you guys are not through all of your sprints yet. which is understandable. We're all in different places and different sprints. How did you feel like this project, went for you guys in terms of like having a real opportunity to use what you've been learning in the courses?
Well,
Yeah. Oh, Sam, you can go. You can go.
I learned that applying the information we learned in the sprints was the easy part, and that working with a team was really something that I had no experience doing, and that's where like a lot of my misuse came through. I just kept floundering. We didn't know how to set up the repo for a team at first. So I'm so
Sure.
glad that I got this experience to I don't know, sort of work with the team and then apply that to how we're gonna work in companies and get a job later.
Yeah, absolutely. Samantha, what do you
We
want to
learned
add?
we learned very quickly to use branches. So, branches are important.
Branches are important. Yeah, that's a good one. Alba, what did you learn?
Yeah, it was challenges. The route, it was really a challenge. It's the first time I did the route calculation and the distance metric. So I navigating on different plan, different option, different website, here, there, and then getting all the pieces. And then finally we did it. All the group we did.
Yeah,
Thank you to
that's a lot.
everyone.
The impact of the difference between the optimization that you shared was staggering. So clearly we all need a
Yeah.
data science person to help us with our planning.
Yeah.
And then David, you worked primarily on all of the just kind of the theming of it all, which is really cool. Especially a lot of those hover pieces and working to get the links to open up in a separate window. Did you have Figma that you worked through, or did you just like hold all this in your brain and go for it?
I went through a few different design ideas through Figma. I had no idea how to really create in Figma. I only knew how to like read off of it to code, but it definitely took like a few hours to learn. And then I went through a few ideas, maybe two different versions of this website or layouts and designs, and sent it to the team and see what kind of criticisms they could give me so I could work on it. And then we landed on this. And you also asked me what else did I learn, right? So
Yeah, just from between how did you apply what you've been learning, in real life? It's
yeah,
very real life.
so I'm only on sprint 4. So a
Oh,
lot of
good.
So a lot of this stuff was so new to me. I had no idea what React was. I had no idea. I mean, I learned about the branches, but actually working with React and having to like make sure it was just a huge learning process, but it was nice to get a taste of it so that when I do come
Yeah.
across those sprints, I'll be more prepared and probably digest it a little bit easier. So it was really nice.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point you bring up, though, that so many of all of us, when we go to these jobs, they may have a list of 10 requirements of code and applications that we know how to use, which is unreasonable that anyone would know all 10. But I think these code jams give a great opportunity for everyone to experience that like real significant learning curve and how to power through that to be able to support the team. So
I also have to shout
kudos to
out.
you guys.
I just have to shout out. I'm pretty sure it was Sam who said we should probably have the link open in a new tab. Yeah, I think. Oh, my bad, Samantha. I'm pretty sure is the one who said that. I was like, oh, you're right. I completely forgot. But that's what's nice about having a team is like, I feel like when you're lacking in one area, I mean, nobody's perfect in my opinion. When I'm lacking in one area, someone else will be strong in that, so they can give you suggestions and such.
Well, I'll try not to be offended by that nobody's perfect remark, but I think you're right about having a team for sure.
Yeah.
It really is. It's one of my favorite things. All right. Crowd favorite so far, Holiday Navigators. That is David Bedoya. Let's see. Sam and Samantha. I just keep wanting to say both of you at the same time. Samantha Enzi, Sam Branham, Eric McDougall, and Alva Skeha. All right, our last team for the evening is Code Fusion, and they are also going to be a partly live, partly recorded group. And so Code Fusion is Anthony Lin, Juan Alcantara, Joshua Polly, and Jiabo Wu. Sorry, Jiabo Wu.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great. So my name is Juan Alcantara. I'm with Code Fusion. team, and we want to present the only app you'll ever need when you visit New York in SantaCon. Yes, our app is where Christmas enthusiasts meets the city streets. And before I get into all the presentation and all of that, our team is a hybrid, is going to be presenting hybridly. We did have some few changes in teams, and so we really only had 3 team members to do this entire project. And I want to just give a shout out to our teams that they just worked really hard. Joshua and Anthony and myself worked on this day and night, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But we do have a video to show first with them explaining the project, their parts, and let's go ahead and play that. I think Nadia has it.
I do.
Or Anthony.
I got it.
You
I
do?
got
Okay.
it.
Oh, you got
All right,
it?
good.
Oh, great. I'll sit back and watch then.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joshua Polly. I am Code Fusion's data science student, and we're going to talk about the project Guide My Sleigh for SantaCon, as well as the data and logic we use to help make efficient routes. Now, what is SantaCon? SantaCon is a global charity event to support local art organizations. It happens in cities all over the world, but we're focused on New York City, where I live. It's for anyone who would love to get fully dressed as Santa or his elves and join other Santas and elves and get wasted. Now, our project goals. We want to get our merry friends to as many cool places as efficiently as possible. So there's going to be no waiting. All the bars that we selected are open early and open late. We want you to choose a theme so you feel like you're having an actual experience instead of just finding close by bars. And we want you to know how to get back home to your hotel that is participating with SantaCon at the end of your night. So now, tackling route optimizations. I'm not going to go into too many details because that would take too long, but we chose random routes to start with to give us a baseline. There's no logic behind this. It's just a randomized route. Now, nearest neighbors takes on the idea of logic by taking the middle points, which are not the start point or your hotel, but optimizes the distance in between all of these places, and then adds those 2 points at the end to make it computationally cheap. And then we have the brute force method, which takes all of the possible permutations of these routes and then finds the global minimum. But because of APIs costing money, I wasn't quite able to do this. So I used a MapQuest API that allowed me to get an optimized route. Now, here's our solution. Look at that, a really hard to read table. So we're going to assume that MapQuest routes are the best routes that we could find. And we're going to see how the nearest neighbor route and the random route did with tables. In the blue, we have our nearest neighbor routes. And in the red, we have our random routes. The smaller the bar, the closer it got to the MapQuest route distance. Nearest neighbors did really well overall. And even in 3 instances, we see that it actually outperformed MapQuest, which means MapQuest is not a brute force route. It has logic that finds optimal routes well. And in the red, it did pretty bad overall. Although on occasion, you can see that there's smaller red bars, which means our nearest neighbor logic doesn't always work. It only finds local minimums. At the end of my project, I talked about what we did, looked at the data, and then talked about ways in which, if I had more time, I would have tackled the brute force method to make it computationally cheaper and more effective. And now I'm going to pass it on to my peers so they can discuss the rest of the coding project.
Hello, I'm Anthony Lin. I'm one of Code Fusion's software engineering students. For our project, we decided to design the website using Figma. Me and Juan cooperated within Figma to create these mobile and laptop versions of our site. Users would start on the home page, then go to the bar page, select the themes that they want, the bars that they want, the hotel page, and select the hotel that they'd be staying at, and then lastly, the map page, which would show the route that they'd be taking. All routes would start in the same location as the event, go through the bars that they selected, then end at the hotel. To show this, I used the Maps JavaScript API and the Routes API for the route. To simplify things, I created a class to load the map, create the pins, add the markers, clear the markers for when the user decides to change the location that they'd be visiting, and then lastly the route, and then focusing the view of the map onto the route. This is all the logic behind the map. This function is called for when the map loads, and then we just go through each location and load it onto the map. That's it for me, and now on to Juan.
Thank you, Anthony. The amazing presentation, folks. SantaCon is an application that is user experience motivated. In other words, you just want to get on your phone, type, push on the bars, push on the themes that you want, and it'll automatically give you a route. It's all within New York City. You don't have to go far. And now I'm going to present the app for you guys in real life here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, see if I can do this. You guys see this? Yeah, okay. So here's how this starts. You go on to SantaCon. Let's go bar hopping. There it is. Select your bars. Here's your themes. Do you like Irish bars? Do you like West bars? Do you like any kind? You select your bars, what you want to visit. You click next. Which hotel do you want to stay at? Select it and give me a map. And here we go, the best route so you can start bar hopping. Folks, download the app today and you will have a merry, very jolly Christmas. Thank you. Any
Wow, that
questions?
was great. Yeah, so that was great. I mean, I didn't know I needed this app in my life until now. The idea of bar hopping in winter, but then also like dressing as elves and Santa is like that's just next level. I have lots of coworkers that live in New York. That's where Scholastic headquarters is, and I'll be sure to pass this along because I'm sure that they are going to be looking for a holly jolly good time. So really great work. I think all of us, so all of us in the chat, kind of behind the scenes, were quietly laughing about the fact that MapQuest was the route you guys had to go with because of the optimization and things. And so I think that is a really great insight for us to see that running these apps and getting these data pieces, there's a lot of free APIs out there, but some of them do cost. So really great to have shared that too. And also good to know MapQuest is still out there. Good on you.
I think we use Google Maps.
It looks like it was MapQuest.
Uh,
Oh, Anthony, I can't quite hear you. You're really muted. I'm so sorry.
We did use Google Maps. The MapQuest was just mentioned for the comparison for the data algorithm.
Thank you for clearing that up. That definitely helps. Clearly the software engineer person, not the data person, because I'm just looking for it to work. No, I think that was really great. You guys definitely did an amazing job on optimizing it. In terms of like questions and things that it seems like you guys did a great job. I know you guys were down a teammate, but like if you guys had another 2 days, what would you do next?
Anthony, you want to answer that?
My mind is running blank, but we
Yeah,
were
mine
planning
too.
to add a info button that would like add details
Ooh.
for like the different locations. I was also
Like
thinking
that.
of just adding other different features like theme for the app or
I wonder if
optimized
you could run
routes.
an open table API through it to do like, where it like takes you to the open table of different bars so you can like pre-reserve.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a
All
great
things to think
feature. Yeah.
all things to think about, right? I can't help it. My mind's just going. In terms of like working together, it seems like you guys worked really well together. Given all of the kind of difficulties. In terms of the satisfied level, right? 0 being like, oh dear God, but 5 being like, this is an amazing product that we were able to turn out in 5 days. What's your level of satisfaction on this, guys?
Well, me personally, a 5. Anthony and I worked very nice together, considering we had opposite schedules at some times and, really had some struggles there, but we made it work. And Joshua, my hat's off to him because he was really the only data science guy that took the bull by the horns, made this happen for us. But we did get it done. We started with some mock data, and as soon as he was ready to rock and roll with his analysis, then we were able to put it all together. But yeah, the team worked great. I do want to point out one of the things about the app that was really nice was
Yeah.
so we used the feature to make it load faster instead of having this API call every time they chose. We chose the CSS to hide and display cards. So
Oh,
the whole app is
interesting.
already
Okay.
loaded. Yeah, the whole app is already loaded. So when you click a button and when you next, it'll just hide a class and display a new class. And
Very
that'll
cool.
makes
So
it
it only
a
has to
lot
do the
10
one
faster.
call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. And it's
that's a
only one
really cool
page.
trick.
Yeah, and it's only one page. So it only navigates to index and that's it. It doesn't go anywhere else.
Very cool. Very cool tips for anyone in future sprint or future code jams watching. That's a really great tip. Because whenever we're testing things like loading time and accessibility, those things can really slow down your metrics. So
Yeah.
really great tip.
And every page is a function, essentially.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm one of the judges for this, so I can't wait to get in there and see that. That'll be really fun.
Excellent.
So that is our last team of the evening. It looks like Deborah Thomas. Oh, just a quick thought for you guys. In the the Code Fusion team, Deborah Thomas in the YouTube has said that she lives in Idaho, but now she feels like she needs the New York app now. So maybe you guys just need to expand and go from New York to New Jersey and then Connecticut. You guys just take over the US, and then there can be a SantaCon bar hopping crawl everywhere.
Yeah, we could sell ad space.
There you go. That would be great. Prioritized bars.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. All right. So that is Code Fusion with Anthony Lin, Juan Alcantara, and Joshua Polly. And that wraps up our Code Jam for the evening. I am very excited. Like I mentioned, I get to be one of the judges for the software engineering part. So I'm very excited after seeing all these presentations. Really, really impressive level presentations from every team. I am so excited to go and look at all of the little decisions and code bits. So really kudos. And thank you to all of the data people who were very kind and patient, to all of us software engineer people who don't understand how much work you guys put into all of that data to get us the things that we need to be able to display it all. I really appreciate all of you taking the time to show us all the behind the scenes. That was really, really impressive. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So from all of us here at TripleTen, this has been our December Code Jam presentation. Thank you so very much for watching us, everyone at home. And for all of the students, thank you again for coming on. It shows a lot of courage to come on and show the world all your hard work, especially when you have a shortened time frame with people you've never met in time zones you didn't even know were possible. Thank you again for all of your time and efforts in this. The students can vote for results. Excuse me. The students can vote for the audience award in the Discord, and then our YouTube watchers can vote in the YouTube channels, and the rest of us are going to vote. Yes, in the YouTube. Okay, sorry. Deborah's already giving ideas for you guys to put your apps in the App Store. So just throwing that out there. Deborah's out here PRing for all of you. So okay, I want to let everyone know our results are going to be December 27th. So make sure you check all of our socials and our Discord then, and we will have the points winner as well as the audience winner announced. I'm going to send a special thanks to everyone who works behind the scenes to help organize the code jams. Devin, who's my partner from back in the day, who is also going to be a judge with me. Daniel, who's going to be judging all of our data stuff and is one of our favorite mentors. Camilo, also one of our data people. Natasha, Alyssa, Olivia, Daniela, Nadia, who of course arranges all the things. Ilya, and of course my cat Shark Bait, who mostly just gets into stuff and doesn't really provide any value. But we won't tell anyone. I want to say thank you and happy holidays, and I hope everyone is staying nice and warm. I am always impressed with what you guys are able to bring to the table in 5 days. It's really remarkable. I can't wait to see what you guys are able to do with a full sprint when you guys are gainfully employed out in the world. All right, you can find me, Tiffany Hall, at Tiffany Codes on Instagram. You can probably find my cat buried his head somewhere in a pizza box, but he's really not that important. Please make sure you vote for your audience of favorites, and then stay tuned for results. Thank you guys so much and have a great evening.